So one of the main questions remain is why Microsoft did this. Why risk alienating your player base with such a massive price increase, especially on the Ultimate tier? The answer is like a combination of factors and all ties back to some very big bets. And this is all based on rumors and speculations. This is not an official information released by Microsoft, and this all pretty much the noises on the street and evidently the reactions from gaming fans, Xbox fans, PlayStation fans, and the community in general. So the first and main topic being discussed is the recouping the Activision Blizzard King cost. This is the elephant in the room. Microsoft spent nearly $70 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard King, and they had to make that money back, no doubt. Making Game Pass a more expensive premium product is the most direct way to show investors a return on a colossal investment. The price hike isn't just for Ubisoft Plus, it's the start of paying the Activision bill. There's a consideration of shifting to a service-first model as kind of a big topic that has been permeating in the Xbox discussion these days. This could be a part of a long-term pivot away from low-margin hardware and toward a high-margin platform agnostic service. They are testing the absolute limit of what consumer will pay for the all-in ecosystem. Which this brings the possibility that Xbox might pull a Sega in 2001, where Xbox leaving the hardware behind. This massive price hike, especially for Ultimate, has reignited a dramatic rumor. What if Xbox is preparing to leave the console business? And thinking back to 2001, Sega, after the Dreamcast failed to compete with the PlayStation 2, made a shocking pivot. They stopped making hardware and became a third-party software publisher, putting Sonic the Hedgehog on Nintendo and PlayStation console. Never in your wild life back in 1992, 1993, 1994, you will ever hear of this. So the rumor mill, supported by industry insiders, suggests that Microsoft could be considering a similar path. By making Game Pass an extremely expensive premium services, they could be shifting their entire business model. The focus will no longer be on selling Xbox consoles, which are often sold at loss. Instead, the focus will be selling their high-margin subscription service, Game Pass, to everyone, regardless of what device they are on. Imagine a future in 5 or 10 years where a new Halo or a Fable launches day and date on PlayStation 6, PC, and cloud services, all powered by the Game Pass subscription. This price hike could be the first major step into making the service, not the console, the primary Xbox product. It's a wild thought, but with these prices, it's something impossible or mind-blowing just to think about it. This brings to the confidence in Day One exclusive. Microsoft is betting that a guaranteed Day One access to huge upcoming games like Fable, The Elder Scrolls 6, and future Call of Duty titles is a powerful enough carrot to justify the stick of a higher price. They believe the content pipeline is so strong that they have no choice to pay up. So this brings some of the voices that we've been hearing a few years ago, especially during the FTC looking for a preliminary injunction against Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard King, and we got Lina Khan, the former Federal Trade Commission leader, making a reappearance. And one of the main questions remain is that the FTC was right all along, and is kind of an interesting her reappearance. Lina Khan, who fought tooth and nails to block the Activision Blizzard buyout, a core pillar of the FTC arguments was the fear of what will happen after the deal closes. They warned that Microsoft, having consolidated so much content and market power, could leverage its position to harm consumers, especially by raising prices. And let's get objective here without any fandoms on gaming, being a gaming fan and everything. We have to acknowledge where I believe she was right. The FTC prediction has, in a very direct way, come true. Shortly after the deal was fully integrated, Microsoft has used its unparalleled content library as justification for a significant price hike. Khan's argument was that the deal will give Microsoft the power to raise price without fear of competition, and this move suggests that's exactly what's happening. The concern was never just about Call of Duty exclusivity, it was about subscription price. Where it was obvious that she got it wrong is the case of the FTC legal argument ultimately failed because they couldn't convince the court that it would cause enough immediate, irreversible harm to competition to warrant blocking the merger. The courts essentially bet that market forces could keep Microsoft in check. And I would like to add that focusing on cloud gaming was not the correct or should have not been the only path that the FTC should have followed. So this brings us on what could happen in the future. If this price hike sets a new precedent, it proves that the FTC's course fear was valid. Regular bodies worldwide will now be watching Microsoft's every move with extreme prejudice, and in future large-scale acquisition attempts will face an even greater uphill battle, as regulators can now point directly to this Game Pass price increase as a concrete example of the consumer harms they have been warning about all along. So in summary, the Game Pass price changes are more than just simple adjustments. They are a strategic move by Microsoft that reflects the evolving landscape of the gaming industry. It shows their confidence in the service values and in long-term vision, a vision that includes a powerful, comprehensive subscription ecosystem at its core. Whether this leads to a more competitive or less competitive future remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Game Pass is here to stay and is shaping the future of how we play and probably we perpetuate in everything else in the gaming industry, and that's include PlayStation and non-Xbox branded PC gaming platform.